Hey guys, and welcome to my gold underrated BPL team. Now, I've got some good news for Cookie, bad news for me. The good news for him is, as of this morning, he went to Fuerteventura on holiday. Go on, son. Bad news for me is I've got to run the channel by myself for a week. So I'm going to try and keep the content as regular as possible for you guys. So without any further ado, let's get this show on the road. And in goal we have Mr. Tim Krul. He's very low rating, but he's an absolute beast. I can see why a lot of people use him in the BPL teams, and he was just a solid keeper, pulled off some good saves. And he only cost me 450 coins. Our first centre-back is a close rival of Newcastle's, and this is Diakite. I'd never used him on FIFA before, so I thought I'd give him a go, and I'll tell you what, he held the left-sided defence up very well and put in some critical challenges. And he only cost me 650 coins, which is pretty cheap for a defender of his stats. Now the next centre-back is a man close to my heart. He plays for Tottenham Hotspur, and that is Mr. Michael Dawson. I thought his pace would let him down, but his defending stats definitely made up for that, and he was a solid defender. And I managed to pick him up for 350 coins, so not a bad little buy. Now the third and final centre-back of the team is Mr. Sebastian Bussong. He was the weakest defender out the three, but he was still pretty damn good, and he only cost me 350 coins. So now, boys, let's get into some clips of the goalkeeper and the defenders in action. So here we have it, Tim Krul pulling out a worldie save. That was hiding in the top left bag until he pulled out a nice punch. I don't usually like playing with formations that have three at the back, but it suited pretty well using this team. The fact is, usually I feel that the centre-backs don't pull out wide enough defensively, so it leaves us exposed for wingers just to push forward and whip balls in. But I'll tell you what, Bussong and Diakite pulled out wide nicely, and look at that, just stopping the winger getting the ball in, and Diakite gets a nice header. Now we're going to move on to the centre defensive midfielders, and the first man is also a Tottenham player, and this is Mr. Capoue. I don't know, however you want to pronounce it, but I'll tell you what, I haven't seen him in many squads, but he was a solid centre defensive midfielder, and he had a mean shot on him as well, and his passing was pretty damn good, so all round he was well worth the 350 coins I got him for. Now the second centre defensive midfielder I've got is Scotty Parker, the man that plays for Fulham. He was defensively solid, going forward he wasn't as good, but you don't expect that from your defensive midfielders. And I managed to pick him up for 350 coins as well. Now moving on to the centre attacking midfielder, and this is a man that I have loved in previous FIFAs, and that is Sessegnon. He is an absolute beast, and I picked him up for 900 coins, which is an absolute bag, and he's got a right shot on him, and he scores quite a few goals for me actually. And now to the wingers, and the first is the left midfielder, and that is the South African, that was an awful accent, Steven Pienaar. Look at him, look at his nice little braids, but he was a very solid left midfielder as well. Got forward and back as much as possible, didn't stand out too much, but did the job, and he only cost me 450 coins. What a bargain, 4-star weak foot, 4-star skill moves. And the right midfielder is a man that plays for Norwich, so we get a nice little bit of a link up with Bussong, and that is Mr. Snodgrass. Cookie will not be happy with this because he used to play for Leeds and now he is at Norwich, so sorry for that, Cook lad. But I managed to pick him up for 350 coins, so that was another cheap buy. So now we're going to start off the clips for the midfielders, and that was a nice shot from Sessegnon. I tell you what, he could ping it from nearly anywhere outside the box. And this was an absolute screamer from Capoue. I tell you what, it surprised me how good he was at actually shooting, and Sessegnon, look at that, just does the business with a cheeky chip outside the box. The amount of chips I scored with this team was unreal, and Sessegnon scored about 4 or 5 goals for me in the space of 3 games, and he gets lucky a couple of times. That one he did get lucky, and Elman has a shot and he gets lucky here as well, but I tell you what, you've got to be in the right position to score goals like that. Like this man here. Here we go, Capoue. Now we're going to start with our strikers, and the first of the two is another Norwich man, so the whole right hand side is Norwich based, and this is Mr. Elmander. I tell you what, his finishing was fantastic, and no matter what his pace was, he was strong, and he could just put the ball in the back of the net, and you'll see that with a few clips that come along. I used to love him at Bolton, so I just wanted to put him in the team, and I'm so glad I did. He only cost me 350 coins, and he's got 4-star weak foot. Absolute beast of a player. And the second striker we've got is a man that plays for Liverpool, and that is Iago Aspas. I tell you what, I scored a right screamer with him at the end, a nice little volley, and his finishing was quite clinical, especially for his rating. He was quite fast, and overall he was a good striker. I definitely advise you getting any of the two up-fronters. And he was only cost me 400 coins, and he's got 4-star skill moves, absolute bargain. So without further ado, let's get into the clips for the strikers. Now we're going to start off with the Elmander goals. He was cool as a cucumber in front of goal. Scored a couple of nice, just straight bootlace shots and a few chip goals, and this is one of them. Look at that. Keeper don't know what he's doing. He comes for it and then decides to bottle it, but Elmander knows what he's doing. He's just going to chip that over him and put it in the back of the net. And here we go. This is what I liked about him. He'd just get near post and beat defenders to the ball and just put the ball in the net, basically. Keeper couldn't do anything. And this was my favourite header. 1-0 down, coming up to half time, and he just beats the keeper to the ball and just puts it in the back of the net. And here we have Aegu Aspas. Nice little ball from Elmander, and then just cheeky little lob over the keeper. Nice finishing. And then this is that volley I was talking about. Another good pass from Elmander, and hit first time. Look at that. We'll have a little replay of that bad boy. Nice. So that's the end of my underrated BPL squad builder, and I enjoyed using this squad very much. I played 3 games, like I said before, and won all 3. All the teams seem to work well together, and I'm so glad I picked the players I did. And overall, it only cost me 4,950 coins, which is absolutely nothing. Well guys, thank you very much for your support. Any feedback is welcome. If you did like it, please leave a like. Be sure to follow us on Twitter. We are keeping very active at the minute, so hey, very active. Yeah, bad pun. Anyway, see you later guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Peace.